The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the polished windows of Le Blanc, one of Los Angeles' most prestigious restaurants. The establishment, known for its crystal chandeliers and gold-trimmed wallpaper, catered to Hollywood's elite and wealthy tourists alike. On this particular Wednesday evening, Will Smith had decided to dine alone, wanting some quiet time to review a new script. He walked in wearing casual but expensive clothes, a simple black sweater and designer jeans. The host at the front, Katie, was busy dealing with other customers and didn't look up properly to see who had entered. Will waited patiently, checking his phone messages. Kevin Porter had been working at Le Blanc for 3 years. He prided himself on being able to read customers, to know who belonged and who didn't. When he spotted Will standing quietly by the entrance, Kevin made a snap judgment based solely on appearance. He hurried over, bypassing the proper greeting protocol. "Sir, I'm afraid we're fully booked," Kevin said curtly, despite several empty tables being visible in the dining area. "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at the diner down the street." Will raised an eyebrow, his expression remaining calm. "I actually have a reservation, under Smith." Kevin's face showed obvious skepticism. He made a show of checking the reservation book, his fingers moving slowly down the list. "I don't see any Smith here. Are you sure you booked for the right day?" A few nearby customers had started to notice the exchange. One woman was already recording with her phone, her mouth slightly open in disbelief as she recognized the actor. "Check again," was said softly. "William Smith, 7:30 p.m. Katie, the host, finally looked up from her station. Her eyes widened in recognition, and she rushed over. "Mr. Smith, I am so sorry for the wait. Your table is ready, the one you requested by the window." The color drained from Kevin's face as realization dawned. He stood frozen, reservation book still in hand, as Will Smith, Academy Award winner, one of Hollywood's most successful actors, stood before him. But what neither Kevin, Will, nor anyone else in the restaurant knew was that this interaction was being observed by more than just the other diners. High above Earth's atmosphere, hidden behind advanced cloaking technology, a Meridian observation post had their sensors focused on this very scene. Inside their ship, Chief Observer Zixtel turned to their second-in-command. "Record this interaction. It's exactly what we've been waiting for." Back in the restaurant, Katie was professionally handling the situation. "Mr. Smith, please follow me. I apologize again for the confusion." She shot Kevin a sharp look that promised a serious conversation later. Will followed Katie to his table, maintaining his composure. As he sat down, he could hear the whispers spreading through the restaurant. Several phones were out now, recording everything. Kevin remained rooted to his spot, clutching the reservation book like a shield. The restaurant's manager, Paul Martinez, emerged from his office after being alerted by another staff member. He quickly assessed the situation and made his way to Will's table. "Mr. Smith, I cannot express how deeply sorry we are for this incident," Paul said, his voice sincere and concerned. "Please allow me to comp your meal this evening. Kevin will no longer be serving any tables tonight." Will looked up at Paul, his expression thoughtful. "Thank you, but that's not necessary. I'd actually like Kevin to be my server." Paul blinked in surprise. "Sir, I don't think that would be appropriate after." "Trust me," Will said with a small smile. "Sometimes the best way forward is through." In the observation post above, Zixtal's antenna quivered with interest. "Fascinating response. Note the subject's control over the situation and the choice to engage rather than escalate." Kevin approached the table with visible trepidation, his hands shaking slightly as he held his notepad. "Mr. Smith, I don't know what to say." "How about we start with the specials?" Will suggested calmly. Throughout the meal, Kevin served Will with a mixture of shame and growing respect. Will engaged him in conversation, asked about his background, and shared stories about his own early days in Hollywood. By the end of the evening, Kevin had learned more about prejudice and dignity than any sensitivity training could have taught him. As Will prepared to leave, Kevin approached one final time. "Mr. Smith, I need to apologize properly. What I did was wrong. I made assumptions, and I treated you with disrespect. I'm truly sorry." Will stood up and looked Kevin in the eye. "The real test isn't how you treat someone when you know they're important. It's how you treat them when you think they're not." In the Meridian ship, Zixtal made their decision. "This is it. This interaction demonstrates both the problem and the potential. Prepare the contact protocols. Subject William Smith has shown the qualities we've been searching for. As we left the restaurant, several videos of the incident were already spreading across social media. What seemed like a simple evening would soon cascade into events that would change human history. The Meridians had been watching Earth for centuries, waiting for the right moment and the right person to initiate first contact. They needed someone who could demonstrate humanity's capacity to handle conflict with grace, to teach without condemnation, and to turn adversity into opportunity. Through the restaurant's windows, Will could be seen getting into his car. Kevin watched him leave, still processing the evening's events. Neither man knew that their interaction had just set in motion a chain of events that would revolutionize human civilization. In orbit, the Meridian ship began its preparations. Soon, they would reveal themselves to Earth, and Will Smith, actor, producer, and now unwitting diplomat, would face his biggest role yet, becoming humanity's first ambassador to the stars. The incident at LeBlanc wasn't just about a racist waiter and a famous actor. It was about to become the catalyst for humanity's greatest adventure. 3 days after the restaurant incident, Will Smith sat in his home office reviewing scripts when a strange blue light filled the room. At first, he thought it was a special effect from one of his kids' pranks, but the air itself seemed to ripple like water. Two figures materialized in front of his desk. They were tall, nearly 7 feet in height, with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer. Their faces were almost human-like, except for their large, almond-shaped eyes that changed color like opals. They wore simple white robes with strange symbols that glowed faintly. Will slowly put down his reading glasses. After years of acting in science fiction movies, he found himself surprisingly calm. "I'm guessing you're not from the studio." The taller being stepped forward. "We are Meridians. I am Zixtal, chief observer of Earth. This is my second, Penra." Their voices had a musical quality, like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "We have been watching your planet for several centuries," Penra explained. "We needed to be certain humanity was ready for contact." Will leaned back in his chair. "And my interaction with Kevin at the restaurant convinced you." Sixtel's eyes shifted to a warm gold color. "Precisely. We have observed many incidents of conflict and prejudice on Earth. What made your interaction significant was not the conflict itself, but how you handled it. Instead of responding with anger or seeking revenge, you chose to educate and connect," Venera added. "This is the kind of emotional intelligence our Galactic Council values above all else." Will stood up and walked around his desk. "So, you're saying that because I didn't lose my temper with a waiter, you decided to make first contact with Earth?" "Your response demonstrated the highest potential of human nature," Zixtal explained. "In our society, emotional intelligence and the ability to transform conflict into understanding are considered the greatest forms of wealth." The actor ran a hand over his face. "And what exactly do you want from me?" "We would like you to be Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Council," Venera said. "Your experience in the public eye, combined with your demonstrated wisdom in handling difficult situations, makes you uniquely qualified." "There must be better choices," Will argued. "Diplomats, world leaders." Zixtal's eyes shifted to a deep blue. "We have observed your world leaders. Many are skilled at politics, but few show true emotional wisdom. The Galactic Council isn't interested in political power. We seek those who can bridge differences and foster understanding." As if to prove their point, both Meridians produced small crystal orbs. Inside each orb, scenes from the restaurant played out like miniature holograms. "We have collected thousands of hours of human interactions," Venra explained. "This single evening contained more diplomatic potential than most international summits we've observed." Will walked to his window, looking out at the Los Angeles skyline. "If I agree, what happens next?" "First, we need to prove to you that we're real," Zixtal said. "Would you like to see our ship?" Before Will could answer, the blue light enveloped them again. When it faded, they were standing in a vast chamber with walls that seemed to be made of living crystal. Through enormous windows, he could see Earth floating below, a beautiful blue marble in the darkness of space. "This is our observation post," Vendra explained. "We have 12 similar stations orbiting Earth, all cloaked from human detection." Will walked to the window, his hand touching the transparent surface. "All those sci-fi movies I made, and nothing compares to this." The Galactic Council consists of 27 civilizations, Zixtel continued. Earth would be the 28th, but there are those who oppose human inclusion. They believe your species is too volatile, too prone to conflict. And you disagree? We believe humanity has immense potential, Venera said. You feel deeply, love strongly, and when at your best, show remarkable capacity for growth and understanding. These qualities are rare in the galaxy. As they talked, other Meridians moved around the chamber, working at stations that seemed to grow organically from the floor. Some nodded respectfully at will as they passed. There's something else you should know, Zixtel said. We need to bring Kevin Porter into this as well. We'll turn from the window. The waiter? Why? The Galactic Council will want to see the complete story, Venra explained. They need to understand how humans can overcome their prejudices and grow. Both of you represent different aspects of this journey. So, this isn't just about me being an ambassador, Will realized. You want to show them a story of transformation. Zixtel's eyes shifted to a warm purple. Exactly. The Council values stories of real change more than any technology or resource. Your interaction with Kevin could help prove humanity's readiness for galactic society. Will looked back at Earth, thinking about how this would change everything. When do we start? We've already begun, Venera said, gesturing to a screen where social media reactions to the restaurant incident were being monitored. The videos are spreading. People are discussing prejudice, forgiveness, and growth. The first seeds of change are being planted. Tomorrow, we will contact Kevin Porter, Zixtel added. Then, if you accept our offer, we begin preparing you both for presentation to the Council. Will Smith, who had played many roles in his life, found himself facing his most important one yet. As he stood in the alien ship, looking down at his home planet, he realized that a simple evening at a restaurant had somehow become humanity's audition for the stars. I'll do it, he said finally. But I have one condition. When we go public with this, we need to do it in a way that brings people together rather than creating more division. The Meridian's eyes glowed with approval. That, Zixtel said, is exactly why we chose you. As the blue light prepared to return them to Earth, Will couldn't help but smile at the irony. All those years making movies about aliens, and now he was about to become humanity's first real connection to galactic civilization, all because he chose kindness over confrontation one evening at dinner. The next day would bring even bigger challenges, as they would need to convince Kevin Porter that his worst moment as a waiter had somehow made him part of humanity's first steps into a larger universe. Kevin Porter's hands shook as he stared at the crystalline walls of the Meridian ship. Just 24 hours ago, he had been preparing to look for a new job, sure that his career in hospitality was over after the viral videos of his behavior toward Will Smith. Now he was standing in an alien spacecraft, trying to process the fact that his worst moment had somehow led to humanity's first contact with extraterrestrial life. Please try to relax, Mr. Porter, Zixtel said, their eyes shifting to a calming shade of green. Your vital signs indicate high stress levels. Will Smith, standing nearby, gave Kevin a reassuring smile. Trust me, I had the same reaction yesterday. It gets easier. But why me? Kevin asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I'm the last person who should be involved in something this important. Actually, you're exactly who we need, Will explained. The Meridians chose this moment because it shows how humans can change and grow. Venera approached with a floating tray that held what looked like cups of glowing liquid. This will help calm your nerves. It's perfectly safe for human consumption. As Kevin sipped the strange drink, which tasted like warm honey mixed with starlight, Zixtel activated a large holographic display. Images of the Galactic Council chamber appeared. A vast amphitheater filled with beings of various shapes and sizes. The Council will expect a demonstration of human potential, Zixtel explained. They need to see that Earth is ready to join galactic society. We'll move closer to the display. And how exactly do we prove that? Through the energy of connection, Venera said. In our society, we can physically manifest the emotional energy created when beings overcome their differences and reach understanding. Kevin nearly dropped his cup. You can what? Zixtel raised their hand, and a sphere of shimmering light appeared. Within it, they could see the moment from the restaurant when Will had chosen to keep Kevin as his server instead of having him dismissed. This moment generated significant connection energy, Zixtel explained. The choice to transform conflict into opportunity created a ripple in the emotional fabric of space-time. That's why the Council values emotional intelligence so highly, Will realized. You can actually see and measure it. Precisely, Venra confirmed. And your planet produces more of this energy than any world we've encountered. Humans feel deeply, and when you choose to use those feelings for growth and understanding, the energy created is extraordinary. Kevin watched the scene play out in the sphere, seeing his own transformation from a different perspective. So, what do we need to do? First, you both need to learn how to consciously channel connection energy, Sixtel said. Then, before the council, you'll need to demonstrate how a single moment of prejudice became a catalyst for positive change. The next several hours were spent in training. The Meridians taught them how to sense the subtle energies that flowed between all living beings. Will, with his years of acting experience, found he had a natural talent for it. Kevin struggled at first, but gradually began to understand. Think of it like being a waiter, Will suggested during a break. You know how you can feel the energy of a table as soon as you approach? How you can tell if people are happy, angry, or celebrating? It's like that, but deeper. This comparison helped, and Kevin's progress improved rapidly. The Meridians observed with satisfaction as both humans learned to generate small spheres of connection energy. The council session is in 3 days, Sixtel announced. We believe you'll be ready. Will looked at Kevin. Are you up for this? Kevin took a deep breath. A week ago, I was the guy who tried to turn Will Smith away from a restaurant because of prejudice. Now I might help humanity join a galactic civilization. He smiled slightly. It's terrifying, but yes, I'm up for it. Later, as they prepared to return to Earth, Venera shared some concerning news. We've detected communications from the Rigelians, one of the Council species most opposed to Earth's inclusion. They plan to challenge your presentation. What kind of challenge? Will asked. They will likely try to provoke an emotional response that generates conflict energy instead of connection energy, Sixtel explained. They believe humans are too easily swayed by negative emotions. Kevin looked worried. And if they succeed? Earth's admission to the Council could be delayed by centuries, Venera said softly. We'll place a hand on Kevin's shoulder. Then we'll just have to prove them wrong. After all, we've already shown what can happen when people choose understanding over anger. As they materialized back in Will's office, Kevin turned to the actor. Why did you do it? That night in the restaurant, why did you choose to teach me instead of punish me? Will was quiet for a moment. Because change doesn't happen through punishment. It happens through understanding. I had a choice between making you suffer for your mistake or helping you learn from it. I chose the option that could make a difference. Looking at the evening sky through the office window, Kevin thought about how that choice had led to this moment. Somewhere up there, a galactic civilization was waiting to see if humanity was ready to join them, and somehow, his worst mistake had become part of humanity's greatest opportunity. We're going to prove them wrong about us, aren't we? Kevin asked. Will smiled. That's the plan. Just remember what you learned as a waiter. It's not just about serving people, it's about connecting with them. The Meridians watched this exchange from their ship, noting the surge of connection energy it created. Perhaps, they thought, humanity was more ready than even they had realized. In 3 days, Will Smith and Kevin Porter would stand before the Galactic Council, representing not just their own story of transformation, but humanity's potential to grow beyond its limitations. The success or failure of their presentation would determine Earth's place among the stars. The Galactic Council chamber was even more impressive in person than the holograms had shown. Will Smith and Kevin Porter stood on a circular platform made of what appeared to be living crystal, surrounded by tiers of seats filled with beings from across the galaxy. Some looked almost human, while others defied description. Remember your training, Zixtal whispered from behind them. Focus on the connection energy, not the nervousness. The head counselor, a towering being with shifting patterns of light across their surface, raised their arms for silence. We gather today to consider Earth's petition for membership in the Galactic Council. The Meridians have chosen these 2 humans to demonstrate their species' readiness. From the upper tier, a harsh voice cut through the chamber. We object to this presentation. A Rigelian representative stood, their scaled skin gleaming under the chamber's lights. These humans were chosen because of a display of prejudice. How can this possibly prove their worthiness? Will stepped forward, his voice clear and steady. With respect, that's exactly why we're the right choice. Our story isn't about perfection, it's about growth. The Rigelian's eyes narrowed. Then perhaps we should show the council the full extent of human prejudice. They gestured, and suddenly the chamber was filled with holographic images of Earth's worst moments: wars, discrimination, violence. Kevin felt his heart rate spike, but he remembered his training. Instead of letting fear take over, he focused on generating connection energy, just as the Meridians had taught him. A soft blue glow began to emanate from his hands. Yes, these are parts of our history, Kevin said, his voice shaking at first but growing stronger. I know because I was part of the problem. A week ago, I judged someone based on nothing but appearance. I was wrong, and I learned from it. Will joined him, adding his own energy to Kevin's. The blue glow grew stronger, pushing back against the harsh images the Rigelian had projected. Humans aren't perfect, Will continued. But we have the capacity to learn, to grow, to become better than we were. That's what makes us worthy of consideration. The Rigelian representative moved down to their platform. Pretty words. But let's test your control, shall we? They raised a device, and suddenly both Will and Kevin were flooded with memories of every time they'd experienced prejudice or hatred. The challenge was clear: maintain connection energy even while facing their darkest emotions. Kevin started to falter, the blue glow flickering as memories of his own biased actions threatened to overwhelm him. Will noticed his struggle and reached out, placing a hand on Kevin's shoulder. Remember the restaurant, he said softly. Remember what happened after. Focus on the change, not the mistake. The council chamber watched in silence as the two humans fought to maintain their emotional balance. The Rigelian kept increasing the intensity of the memories, trying to force them into generating conflict energy instead. But something unexpected happened. As Kevin processed the memories of his own prejudiced actions, he began to understand them better. Each memory became not just a source of shame, but a lesson learned. The blue glow around him stabilized and then grew stronger. Will added his own experiences, not just of facing prejudice, but of the times he'd helped others overcome it. Together, they created a sphere of connection energy that filled the chamber with scenes of human transformation. Former enemies becoming friends, communities coming together across divides, people learning and growing beyond their biases. The Rigelian representative stepped back, clearly surprised by the display. This is unprecedented. The energy readings are off our scales. Zixtavel moved forward. As we said, humans feel deeply. When they choose to use those feelings for growth and understanding, the energy they generate is remarkable. The head counselor raised their hand, and the memory device was deactivated. We have seen enough. These humans have demonstrated not just the ability to resist negative emotions, but to transform them into something positive. This is indeed rare in our experience. Kevin looked at Will, both of them tired but proud. They had faced their worst memories and emotions, and instead of being defeated by them, they had used them to demonstrate humanity's potential. The Rigelian representative, looking somewhat chastened, bowed slightly. Perhaps we were too quick to judge, much like I suspect you were, Mr. Porter, in that restaurant. Kevin nodded, understanding the parallel. That's exactly the point we're trying to make. Judgment doesn't have to be final. People can change. Species can evolve. The head counselor's pattern of lights shifted to what seemed to be approval. The council will now deliberate on Earth's petition. But I must say, this demonstration has been most illuminating. As they waited for the council's decision, Will turned to Kevin. You did good up there. Thanks to you, Kevin replied. I finally understand why you handled things the way you did at the restaurant. You saw the potential for change, even when I couldn't see it myself. Looking around the chamber at the assembled representatives of advanced civilizations, both men realized that their simple interaction in a Los Angeles restaurant had become something much bigger, a testament to humanity's capacity for growth and transformation. The future of Earth's relationship with the galaxy now hung in the balance, waiting for the Council's verdict. But regardless of their decision, Will and Kevin had proved something important: that even humanity's flaws, when acknowledged and overcome, could become stepping stones to greater understanding. The Galactic Council chamber hummed with anticipation as the head counselor returned from their deliberations. The crystalline walls pulsed with soft light, reflecting the tension in the room. Will Smith and Kevin Porter stood side by side, waiting for the verdict that would determine Earth's future among the stars. After careful consideration, the head counselor began, their light patterns forming intricate patterns. We have reached a decision regarding Earth's petition for membership in the Galactic Council. The chamber fell silent. Even the Rigelian representatives leaned forward in their seats. Earth is granted provisional membership in the Galactic Council, the head counselor announced. The demonstration of connection energy by these two humans has shown us something we rarely see, the ability to transform conflict into understanding at a fundamental level. Relief washed over Will and Kevin. The blue glow of connection energy sparkled around them without conscious effort, drawing appreciative murmurs from the assembled aliens. Zixtel stepped forward. What are the terms of the provisional membership? Earth will have one standard galactic year to establish the first human-alien cultural exchange program, the head counselor explained. These two humans will lead this initiative, as they have already demonstrated the necessary skills. Will looked at Kevin, raising an eyebrow. Ready for a career change? Kevin laughed softly. I think I've had enough of restaurant work anyway. The next few months passed in a whirlwind of activity. The public announcement of alien contact was carefully managed, with Will Smith's celebrity status helping to ease the shock. The video of the restaurant incident, now viewed in a new context, became a symbol of humanity's potential for growth. LeBlanc Restaurant was transformed into the first human-alien cultural exchange center. The same dining room where Kevin had once shown prejudice became a place where humans and aliens could share meals and stories, learning from each other's differences. Kevin found himself in charge of training Earth's first group of cultural exchange officers. His experience of overcoming his own biases made him uniquely qualified to help others understand the importance of looking past surface differences. The trick, he would tell the students, is to remember that every interaction is a chance to learn and grow. I learned that lesson in the most unexpected way. Will took on the role of Earth's ambassador, traveling between worlds and helping to establish diplomatic relations. His ability to bridge cultural gaps through storytelling and emotional connection made him surprisingly effective in galactic politics. 1 year after the Council's decision, the head counselor returned to Earth for the official review. The Cultural Exchange Center was bustling with activity, humans and aliens sharing meals, stories, and ideas. Connection energy flowed freely through the building, visible to those who knew how to see it. I must admit, the Rigelian representative said, now a regular visitor to Earth, we were wrong about humans. Your species has adapted to galactic society with remarkable speed. Kevin, who was giving them a tour of the facility, smiled. We're still learning. Still making mistakes sometimes. But that's part of the process, isn't it? The head counselor's light patterns showed clear approval. Indeed. Earth's provisional status is hereby upgraded to full membership. Your species has earned its place among the stars. Later that evening, Will and Kevin stood on the observation deck of the Meridian ship, looking down at Earth glowing blue and green below them. Did you ever imagine, Kevin asked, that being a terrible waiter would lead to all this? Will laughed. I think you mean being a terrible waiter who learned to be better. That's what made the difference. The restaurant incident had become required viewing in schools across Earth, taught alongside lessons about prejudice, growth, and humanity's place in the galaxy. Kevin's transformation from a biased waiter to a leader in interstellar cultural relations served as a powerful example of human potential. The Meridians had been right. Emotional intelligence and the ability to grow from mistakes were rare qualities in the galaxy. Earth's capacity for both had earned it a unique position in galactic society. As Earth's first year as a council member ended, the planet had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Alien tourism became common, with LeBlanc's legendary first contact table being the most requested seat in the solar system. The connection energy generated by positive human-alien interactions helped power new technologies and heal old wounds. Will continued his acting career, but now his films included real alien actors and stories that bridged the gap between worlds. Kevin never returned to traditional restaurant work, but he kept a framed photo of that fateful night in his office at the Cultural Exchange Center. Remember, he would tell visitors, pointing to the photo, this is how humanity joined the stars, not through perfect behavior, but through learning from our mistakes. The head counselor made one final observation before departing Earth. Your species has shown us something valuable, that the path to wisdom often begins with error, and true strength lies not in avoiding mistakes, but in learning from them. As the sun set on another day of Earth's new galactic age, Will and Kevin stood in the same spot where their story began. The restaurant had changed, they had changed, and the world had changed with them, but the lesson remained the same. Every moment holds the potential for transformation, if only we're willing to learn. Ready for another year of galactic diplomacy? Will asked. Kevin nodded, watching as an alien family entered the restaurant, greeted warmly by the staff. You know what? I think I finally am. And somewhere above them, the Meridians watched with satisfaction as Earth continued to generate more connection energy than any other world in the Council, one interaction at a time.